Next, crochet the corner motif. This is 1/4 of motif 1. The beginning and ending are slightly different, but otherwise the same. The centered crocheting method is identical. It's also divided into 3 sections for explanation. Start with section 1. Begin with a magic ring. Then crochet the first row. Here you only need to crochet 5 single crochets. After completing, close the loop. There's no need to slip stitch to the first stitch here. For the next row, continue using this color. Don't cut the yarn. Carry the yarn across. Move on to crochet the second row. Insert into the starting single crochet on the right side. Bring the yarn along the curve. Yarn over and pull through. The pulled yarn should match the piece's curve. Then crochet 4 chains. Pick up the 3 adjacent single crochets on the left. Crochet a DC for popcorn. When inserting into the stitch here, you can weave the carried yarn a bit. After completing, continue with 3 chains. Then, on the edge single crochet, crochet 1 loose slip stitch. Break the yarn. The second row is now completed. Move on to the third row. Join the yarn in the starting single crochet of the first row. Then make 3 chains. Work 3 double crochets into the back loop of the stitch to the left. Chain 3 as a transition. Work 3 more double crochets into the back loop of the next stitch. At the edge, pick up the first single crochet from the first row, and work 1 double crochet. Carry the yarn across. This completes the third row. Now move on to the fourth row. Insert into the turning chain. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over and pull through. Make 1 chain. Work 1 single crochet into the corresponding stitch. Follow the chart for the rest of the row. Work 1 single crochet at the edge. Fasten off the yarn. This completes the fourth row. Now move on to the fifth row. Join a new yarn. Make 3 chains. Then crochet 3 chains. Continue following the chart for the rest of the row. Pay attention to color changes and carrying yarn. Work 1 single crochet into the edge stitch of the previous row. Finally, fasten off all yarns. This completes the fifth row. Now move on to the sixth row. Join the yarn at the top of the previous row. Since a color change is needed on the second stitch here, we will do it on the last stitch of the turning chain. Start by crocheting 2 chains. Pick up the corresponding color. Yarn over and pull through. This completes the turning chain. The color change is also completed here. For the rest, follow the chart for crocheting. Pay attention to color changes and carrying yarn. After completing, fasten off all yarns. This completes the 6th row. Next, move on to the 7th row. Begin in the same way as the previous row. You need to change colors on the turning chain. After completing, work the corresponding stitches according to the chart. Pay attention to color changes and carrying yarn. Finish with the last stitch. Fasten off all yarns. This completes the 7th row. Continue to the 8th row next. Start by changing colors on the turning chain again. Then follow the chart for crocheting. For the following 9th and 10th rows, the techniques used have all been demonstrated before. Just follow the chart to complete these rows. Note that at the end of the 10th row, do not fasten off the ending color, but you need to cut off the other color. This concludes section 1. Next, I will explain sections 2 and 3 using a completed small sample. To start section 2, continue with the previous yarn tail. Crochet 1 row by picking up the corresponding position on the wrong side, then turn over to the right side. Pick up the corresponding position and crochet the 2nd row. Fasten off the yarn after completing it. For the other section 2, join the yarn at the corresponding position on the wrong side and continue crocheting. Section 3 is all about crocheting rows from right to left. The stitches used have all been demonstrated before. Moving forward, refer to the chart. Complete the remaining parts. Similarly, the yarn tails can be woven in while crocheting the edging, or you can weave them on the wrong side of the piece now. That concludes the demonstration of crocheting the corner motif. Make sure to crochet the corresponding number of corner motifs. Up to this point, the entire section on motifs has been covered. With the motifs completed, the next step is joining. First, refer to the motif arrangement diagram. Position the motifs correctly. Then you can start joining from any direction. There will be 3 types of joining situations encountered. Here, everyone can learn the methods first. I'll start from the bottom right corner, joining from right to left. Start by joining motif 1 with 1 corner motif. This is also the first type of joining situation. Here, I'll demonstrate using a small sample. Pick up both motifs. The right sides should face up. Then align the edges that need to be sewn together. Bring the wrong sides together. Here, the corner motif starts from the first stitch at the edge. Sew to the first stitch on the other side of the edge. Motif 1 starts from the chain next to the double crochet. Sew to the chain position next to the double crochet on the other end. Identify the sewing area. Pull the yarn from below for sewing. Take a length of yarn 3 times the length of the sewing area. It can be a little longer, but try not to exceed 1 meter. Thread the yarn into the needle. Start sewing from the bottom. Here, I will position the corner motif facing me. Start from the first stitch on the right edge. This edge is made with a turning chain. Pick up the 2 strands of the 3rd stitch. For the back motif 1, Pick up the outer loop of the corresponding chain. Which is the loop closest to you? Insert the hook. Pull the yarn through. Leave a little yarn tail. To make it secure, sew again in the same position. After completing this, move to the left. Pick up the back loops in each double crochet position. Sewing them together correspondingly. For chain positions, pick up the outer strand of yarn and insert the hook. As you sew, you can place the yarn on top, weaving it as you go. For the edge stitch, to make it secure, sew again in the same position. Finally, weave the yarn on the wrong side. You can weave in more stitches if you like. This completes the joining of motif 1 and 1 corner motif. Next, sew the triangular motif to motif 1. This is the second type of joining situation. The sewing method is the same, but the sewing area is slightly different. Start sewing the triangular motif from the first edge stitch, all the way up to the chain position at the top. Correspondingly, for motif 1, start from the double crochet next to the chain. Continue until you reach the chain position on the other side. Then, sew this side of the triangular motif to another side of motif 1. Identify the correct sewing area, and start taking your sewing thread. I've already prepared mine here. Sew each stitch together in sequence. When you reach the chain position, sew 2 more corresponding stitches as you go down. This means sewing until you reach the centered chain. At this point, this side of the triangular motif will be joined to motif 1. Next, pick up another motif 1. And sew it together with the other side of the triangular motif in alignment. Start here from the centered chain position. Sew all the way down to the last stitch, at the edge of the triangular motif. If you run out of thread while sewing, you can weave in the end and then take a new thread to continue sewing. This completes the joining of the triangular motif and motif 1. Next, sew motif 1 together with motif 2. This is also the third type of joining situation. The stitch counts of the two motifs correspond to each other. Start sewing from the chain next to the double crochet, and continue all the way to the chain position on the other side. Finish sewing this side first. When you encounter a beginning chain position while sewing, simply insert into the hole at the top. Upon reaching the chain position, first, sew the chain next to the double crochet once. Then sew down to the other side. Here at the corner position, you will encounter 3 corners. Pick the centered chain position. Sew 1-2 times through the center of the 3 corners. Continue downward starting from the chain next to the double crochet, sew correspondingly stitch by stitch. Sew this side up to the chain position next to the double crochet. Finally, weave the yarn tail on the wrong side. That concludes the sewing of motif 1 and motif 2. By this point in the joining process, all possible situations have been demonstrated. Next, refer to the chart and follow your preference to join the motifs together. Now let's move on to crocheting the edging. Work along the outer edge of the joined motifs. Crochet in rounds. The new stitches used are marked on the chart. I won't go into detail about them. Please watch as I demonstrate. First, crochet the first round. The piece has 2 longer sides, 2 shorter sides, and 4 corners. Here, I'll start crocheting from the corner on the right side of the long side. I'll demonstrate using a small sample. Note that I'm only demonstrating the technique. The motifs and joining in the sample are not for reference. At the edge, there's a corner triangle motif. Insert into the chain space, where it began. Pick up the corresponding yarn to join it. Chain 2. These 2 chains count as 1/2 double crochet. Then go to the left and pick up the adjacent edge of the row. Crochet 1 single crochet. The adjacent spot is the single crochet position. Insert into the hole from the edge and start crocheting. After completing, move downward. That's the position for the double crochet turning chain. Pick up and crochet 2 single crochets. While edging, pay attention to weaving in the yarn. Crochet 1 single crochet into the single crochet. At the adjacent double crochet turning chain, work 2 single crochets in the row. Repeat this 6 times. After completing, the adjacent edge will be the double crochet position. Crochet 3 single crochets. At the adjacent double crochet turning chain, crochet 3 single crochets. At the back double crochet turning chain, crochet 2 single crochets. Crochet 1 single crochet at the single crochet position. At the back 2 double crochet turning chains, work 2 half double crochets in one position. At the adjacent double crochet turning chain, crochet 3 double crochets in one position. At the last row's edge double crochet turning chain, crochet 2 double crochets in one position. This completes the upper side of the corner motif. Here, check the stitch count according to the chart. Note that the beginning chain counts as 1 stitch, which is included in the total. Below is the joining point for the motif. Pick up at the joining point and the centered chain position, and evenly crochet approximately 5 double crochets. After completing this, move down to the edge of the triangle motif. Crochet 2 double crochets along the adjacent row's edge. On the next row's edge, crochet 1 double crochet and 1 half double crochet. Continue picking up the next row's edge. Crochet 2 half double crochets. Then, pick up the edges of each subsequent row, and crochet 2 single crochets. Repeat this 8 times. After completing, continue picking up the adjacent row's edge. Here, use single crochets. Crochet 1 single crochet, Move down and pick up. The chain space at the back. Crochet 1 single crochet. Then, pick up the edge at this slip stitch position, and crochet 1 single crochet. At the adjacent double crochet position, crochet 2 single crochets. Move down and pick up the adjacent chain space. And crochet 1 single crochet and 1/2 double crochet. Next, pick up at the popcorn's edge. Crochet 1/2 double crochet. At the adjacent single crochet position, crochet 1/2 double crochet. Move down to the center single crochet position, and crochet 1/2 double crochet. For the stitch insertion points on the next side, and the number of stitches crocheted, they should correspond to this side. You can refer to the previously completed section and the chart to continue crocheting this side. After completion, check against the chart to verify the number of stitches in the triangle motif area. After finishing, reach the joining point of the motifs again. Similarly, crochet 5 double crochets evenly. Then continue. The number of stitches and stitch pattern for the triangle motif should be identical to the first triangle motif. The number of stitches and stitch pattern for the corner motif should be symmetrical to the initial corner motif. You can also refer to the chart for specifics. While crocheting, pay attention and check the stitch count, avoiding extra or missing stitches, as this could affect the subsequent crocheting. Next, finish crocheting the remaining part of this edge. After completing the corner with half double crochets, at this point, the first long side is complete. You can double check the total stitch count for the long side again. Then crochet 3 chains. This will form one corner of this round. The following section is the short side. The method is the same as before. The stitch count for the corner and the triangle motif sections should match the corner motif on the previous long side, and identical to the triangle motif for the short side joining position. Crochet 4 double crochets evenly. As always, check the total stitch count for the short side after finishing. Next, follow the method used for the long side, the short side, and the corners. To complete the remaining sections, after finishing the last short side, continue with the final corner. Then slip stitch at the top of the beginning chain. Pull tight. That concludes the explanation for the first round. Now let's move on to the second round. Here, I'll demonstrate using this sample. Keep in mind, I'm only showing the technique. The stitch count and pattern on the sample don't matter. Pick up where we left off with the yarn tail. Start with 3 chains. Then pick up stitches moving to the left. Work a double crochet into each stitch. When you reach the corner chain space, work 2 double crochets into the large space. Chain 3. Then work 1 more double crochet in the same position. Move to the next short side, and work a double crochet into each stitch. Pay attention, the stitch next to the chain space can easily be hidden. Make sure not to skip any stitches while crocheting. When you reach the next corner chain space, correspondingly, start with 1 double crochet. Chain 3. Then work 2 more double crochets in the same position. Move to the next long side and short side positions, picking up each stitch and working a double crochet into it. At the third corner chain space at the back, crochet as you did for the first corner chain space. That means working 2 double crochets, followed by 3 chains and 1 double crochet. Work the fourth corner, the same way as the second corner. Start with 1 double crochet, then work 3 chains and 2 double crochets. Continue in this manner for the remaining section, completing the rest of the piece. After finishing the last corner, slip stitch at the top of the beginning chain. Pull tight. And prepare to change colors. Fasten off the yarn. Thus completing round 2. Next, work on the third round. At the end of the previous round, join the yarn in the double crochet, on the left side of the chain from the corner. Then, make 3 beginning chains. The method for this round is similar to the last one. Work double crochets evenly into double crochets. In the chain space of the corner, pick up the large space and work 2 double crochets, 3 chains and 2 double crochets. The method for each corner is the same here. For the rest, refer to the chart. Complete this round. After finishing, slip stitch at the top of the beginning chain, tighten it up, cut the yarn. That's how you finish the 3rd round. Next, work on the 4th round. Join the yarn in the chain space of the corner from the previous round. Start with 3 chains. Then work 1 double crochet. Next, pick up the stitches from the left. Work 5 double crochets correspondingly. Work a DC for popcorn adjacent to the previous stitches. After completing it, continue with 3 more double crochets. Then work 1 DC for popcorn. Continue with 7 more double crochets afterward. Consider the first popcorn up to this point as one group. That is, 12 stitches make up one group. Continue crocheting following this method for each group. For the last group, after completing 5 double crochets, move down to the chain space at the corner. Work 2 more double crochets. This completes one group. Then crochet 3 chains. These chains form the corner of this round. Move on to crochet down the next side. Use the same method. First, pick up the chain space. Crochet 2 double crochets. Then work 5 double crochets evenly. Continue crocheting following the method for one group. For the last 2 double crochets of the final group, work them into the chain space. Proceed with crocheting the sides and corners using the same technique. After finishing the last side, crochet the final corner next. Work a slip stitch at the top of the beginning chain. Pull tight, cut the yarn. That concludes the explanation for the 4th round. Next, we'll work on the 5th round. This round will use 2 colors. I'll call them color 1 and color 2. Pick up color 1 first. Join the yarn in the chain space of the corner. Start with 3 chains. Work 1 double crochet in the same position. Then work 3 chains and 2 double crochets. You'll need to change colors on the 2nd stitch. After completing it, I consider this spot as one of the corners for this round. For the next side, start by inserting into the 2nd double crochet. From the left side of the chain space in round 3, work a FPDTR and change colors. Begin with an unclosed FPDTR. Wrap the yarn around your hook 3 times. Insert into the corresponding position. Yarn over and draw through. Then yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on your hook. Repeat this 3 times. Next, pick up color 1. Yarn over and draw through. Complete the FPDTR and change colors. After completing it, skip 1 stitch. Pick up stitches to the left and work 5 double crochets evenly. Change colors on the 5th stitch. then into the insertion point of the previous FPDTR. Crochet at FPDTR and change colors. Then skip 1 stitch. Crochet 2 double crochets. When you encounter a popcorn, insert into the chain space on its right side. After completing it, crochet a DC4 popcorn adjacent to it. After finishing, continue with 2 more double crochets. Change colors on the second stitch. Consider the first FPDTR up to this point as one group. It's still 12 stitches in total. Moving forward, follow this method for one group, and continue crocheting. The position for the FPDTR is directly below the centered stitch, among the 7 stitches of popcorns. After completing the last group, you need to crochet a FPDTR below. Pick up the second stitch on the right side of the chain space from the third round. Then skip 1 stitch and crochet 5 double crochets. Change colors on the 5th stitch. The insertion point for the next FPDTR is in the same spot as the previous FPDTR. After completing it, skip 1 stitch. When you reach the corner chain position, crochet the corners of this round. Remember to change colors on the last stitch. After finishing, whether it's a long side or a short side, the crocheting method remains the same, so everyone can follow the methods for sides and corners. Continue crocheting downward. The last stitch requires a color change. By now, you've finished the last side. Join with a slip stitch on the beginning chain. Tighten it up. Color 2 won't be used in the next round. Break the yarn. That concludes the explanation for round 5. Next, we'll move on to round 6. A new color will need to be added. I call this color 3. First, connect with the previous yarn tail. Pick up a stitch to the left and work one slip stitch. No need to tighten it. Then pick up the space and work one slip stitch. Now the yarn tail is carried to the chain space. Next, crochet an identical corner as in the previous round. After completing, pick up the adjacent stitch. Work one double crochet and switch to color 3. Once done, pick up from the 4th round. The 4th stitch to the right of the popcorn is one stitch above the entry position of the previous FPDTR. Work a FPDTR and change colors. After completing, skip one stitch, then work 7 double crochets evenly to the left. Change colors on the 7th stitch. After completing, pick up at the entry position of the previous FPDTR. Work a FPDTR and change colors. After completing, skip one stitch, then work 2 double crochets evenly to the left. Similarly, I consider these 12 stitches as one group. The sides are worked using this group method. The last group here has 11 stitches. When you encounter a corner chain space, work the corner. The edge position here only has 11 stitches at the end, while the rest are groups of 12 stitches. For the corner chain spaces, work the corners accordingly. Continue working the sides and corners, and finish crocheting the remaining part. After completing the last stitch, slip stitch at the top of the beginning chain. Pull tight. The two colors won't be used anymore, so fasten off the yarn. That completes the explanation for round 6. Now move on to round 7. You will need two colors, which I call color 4 and color 5. Start with color 4. Join the yarn in the chain space at the corner. Then make one beginning chain. Work one single crochet correspondingly. Chain 3. Work one more single crochet in the same position. This completes one corner of this round. For the following sides, work 3 single crochets evenly. Change colors on the third stitch. When changing colors for the single crochet, start with an unclosed stitch. Insert the hook, yarn over and pull through. This is an unclosed single crochet. Then pick up color 5. Yarn over and pull through. This completes the single crochet and the color change. Next, insert in the FPDT or insertion point from the previous round. Work a FPDT or and change colors. Here, pick up the stitch above the previous FPDTR. After completing it, skip one stitch. Work 7 single crochets evenly to the left. Change color on the 7th stitch. Then pick up the insertion point of the previous FPDTR. Work one FPDTR and change color. Here, you can pick up the stitch above the same colored FPDTR or below it. Just choose whichever is more convenient for inserting the hook. After completing it, skip one stitch. I consider these 12 stitches as one group in this round. Move to the next position. Crochet using the method for one group as shown. If there aren't enough stitches for a full group, refer to the chart and crochet accordingly. When you encounter a chain space, crochet one corner. Moving forward, refer to the chart. Finish crocheting the remaining part. After completing the last side, slip stitch into the starting single crochet. Pull tight. Since the two colors won't be needed for the next round, cut the yarn. That's it for the explanation of the 7th round. Now move on to the 8th round. Pick up the corresponding color. Join the yarn in the chain space at the corner. Then crochet a corner identical to the one from the previous round. For adjacent stitches, correspondingly make 2 single crochets into each stitch. Next, pick up below, at the FPDTR of the same color. Work at FPDTR. After completing it, skip one stitch. Crochet 5 single crochets evenly to the left. Then make one chain for the interval. Skip one stitch below. Continue with 5 more single crochets correspondingly. Next, work at FPDTR2 tog. Here, insert into the FPDTR of the same color, on both the left and right sides. Work 2 unclosed FPDTR. One, 2. Now there are 3 loops left on the hook. Yarn over, and draw through in once. Complete the FPDTR2 tog. I treat the single crochet next to the FPDTR up to this decrease point as one group. It's also 12 stitches. Then continue crocheting according to the method for one group toward the back. After completing the decrease, skip 1 stitch as well. Once this group is finished with the corresponding number of single crochets, originally, a decrease would be crocheted here, but here we'll crochet the FPDTR. It should be symmetrical with the starting point. Skip 1 stitch, then correspondingly make single crochets for the rest. Work the corner in the chain space. Continue crocheting according to the method for the sides and corners. After finishing the last side, slip stitch in the starting single crochet. Pull tight, cut the yarn. That completes the 8th round. Now move on to the 9th round. Pick up the corresponding color yarn. Join the yarn at the ending position of the previous round. Make 1 chain. Correspondingly make 1 single crochet. Then crochet 1 chain. Next, insert into the chain space below. Crochet a DC4 popcorn. After completing, continue with 1 chain. Consider the popcorn and the 1 chain on either side as one corner of this round. Pick up the stitches below and crochet 3 single crochets correspondingly. Pick up the position of the same color FPDTR below and crochet at FPTR. After completing, skip 1 stitch. Then crochet 5 single crochets correspondingly to the left. Next, you will reach the position of 1 chain. Pick up the 1 stitch below that was previously skipped. Crochet a DC4 popcorn. Wrap the chain into it. After completing, continue to crochet 5 single crochets correspondingly. Pay attention not to miss the position of the adjacent stitch. Then pick up the position of the same color FPDTR on either side below. Crochet at FPTR2 tog. First, crochet an unclosed FPTR. There will be 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, and draw through in once. Complete the FPTR2 tog. I treat the single crochet on the left side of the FPTR, up to the decrease position, as one group. There are 12 stitches in total. Continue crocheting following the method of one group afterward. Mind that you need to skip one stitch after completing the decrease. Below, according to the original method of one group, you need to crochet a decrease. Here, crochet the FPTR. Skip one stitch behind, then work single crochets evenly. Crochet a corner in the chain position. Continue crocheting following the method for sides and corners afterward. Finish with the last single crochet. This completes this side. Then slip stitch in the first single crochet. Pull tight. Cut the yarn. This completes the 9th round. Next, we'll work on the 10th round. Start at the corner position from the previous round. Join the yarn in the chain space on the right side of the popcorn. Make 1 beginning chain. Correspondingly make 2 single crochets. Then crochet 3 chains. Next, at the chain position on the left side of the popcorn, work 2 single crochets. This marks one corner for this round. Then pick up the next stitch. Work 3 single crochets correspondingly. Next, crochet a FPTR2 tog. Here, first pick up the chain position from the 6th round. Work an unclosed FPTR. Then pick up the FPDTR on the left side in the same color. Work another unclosed FPTR. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops on the hook. This completes the FPTR2 tog. Skip 1 stitch at the back. Work 11 single crochets evenly. When you encounter the popcorn position, insert into the space on its right side. After completing it, pick up below, at the FPDTR of the same color on both sides. Crochet at FPTR2 tog. Here, consider the 11 single crochets and the 1 FPTR2 tog as one group. Continue crocheting according to this group method. Note, after completing the decrease, skip 1 stitch at the back. For the last decrease in this group, pick up the FPDTR of the same color below on the right side, and the chain position from the 6th round, on the left side to crochet. After completing it, continue working single crochets correspondingly. Then crochet the corner. Continue crocheting according to the method for sides and corners. After finishing the last side, slip stitch into the starting single crochet, pull tight. Cut the yarn. That's how you complete the 10th round. For the 11th round, use the same method as the 2nd round. At the corner position, crochet 2 double crochets, then make 3 chains and 2 double crochets. On the sides, work double crochets correspondingly. For the 12th round at the corner position, pick up the chain space and crochet 3 single crochets. On the sides, work single crochets correspondingly. Both of these rounds are crocheted in the same color. The method is simple. Just follow the chart for reference. Crochet these 2 rounds as shown. After completing, cut the yarn and weave in the ends. That concludes the explanation of the edging section. Finally, make and attach the decorations. There are 2 types, flowers and tassels. Let's start with making and attaching the flowers. There are 2 sizes of flowers. I call the complete flower flower 1. The half flower is called flower 2. Let's start with the flower 1. There are 2 rounds in total here. For the first round, you'll need 2 colors. I'll refer to them as color 1 and color 2. Start with a magic ring using color 1. Then chain 3. Next, pick up the chain spaces. Crochet 1 double crochet, then switch to color 2. Crochet 1 double crochet with color 2, then switch back to color 1. Continue crocheting 13 more double crochets. Follow the method of 3 stitches with color 1 and 1 stitch with color 2. The last stitch is done with color 1. After completing, close the magic ring. Slip stitch into the top of the beginning chain. Pull tight. Color 2 will not be used afterward. Leave a bit of tail and fasten off the yarn. Then take the starting tail of the yarn and tie it with the end where you fastened off to secure slightly. This completes the first round. Now move on to crochet the second round. Start with 1 chain. Then go to the left. Pick up the double crochet made with color 2 and crochet 4 double crochets into that stitch. Then make 1 single crochet. In the same position, crochet 4 double crochets. I consider this a petal. Continue downwards. Skip 1 stitch. Pick up the adjacent stitch and make a slip stitch that is not tightened. After completing it, continue by skipping 1 more stitch. Crochet 1 petal. This is still in the position of color 2. That means crocheting 4 double crochets. One single crochet. 4 double crochets. After completing it, continue by skipping 1 stitch. Make 1 loose slip stitch. Skip 1 stitch again. Alternate crocheting petals and loose slip stitches. Finish crocheting the last petal. Skip 1 stitch. Continue downwards to the beginning chain position. Pick up at this insertion point. Make 1 loose slip stitch. Finally, leave a 20 cm tail for cutting the yarn. Start with 1 chain to secure. That's how you complete one flower 1. Following the same method, finish crocheting the corresponding number of flower 1. Next, learn how to crochet flower 2. Begin with color 1 using the magic ring. Then make 3 beginning chains. Follow up with 1 double crochet and switch to color 2. Then, refer to the chart and crochet the corresponding number of double crochets. Remember to change colors while crocheting. After completion, secure the loop. Leave a bit of tail for color 2 and fasten off the yarn. Tie a double knot with the starting tail for better fixation. That completes the first row. Next, move on to the second row. Start by carrying the yarn across. Then pull the yarn tail above the beginning chain. Follow the curve and pull the yarn along. Insert into the top of the beginning chain. Draw the yarn through. Chain 1. Move to the left. Skip 1 stitch. Crochet 1 petal. Pay attention to weaving and tightening the yarn tails. Skip 1 adjacent stitch. Crochet 1 loose slip stitch. Then skip 1 stitch. Crochet 1 petal. Finally, pick up 1 edge stitch. Crochet 1 loose slip stitch. Break the yarn. Leave a tail of about 20 centimeters as well. That completes one flower 2. Everyone can follow the same method and crochet the corresponding number of flower 2. This concludes the flowers. Next, sew the flowers together. You need 2. Sew flower 1 at the top of the triangle motif. And sew flower 2 at both ends. On motif 2, in the 4 corner areas. Sew flower 1 respectively. Moving forward, I'll use the triangle motif as an example to demonstrate how to sew the 2 types of flowers. Start by sewing flower 1. Thread the reserved yarn tail into a sewing needle. Use the previously left yarn tail. You can either cut it or leave it on the wrong side. Then, locate the top of the triangle motif. Here, there are front post stitches on both the left and right sides. At the inner front post stitch and center it. Find the last 1-2 rows of this color. Sew flower 1 here. The exact position can also be adjusted according to your preference. Here, only sew the first round of flower 1. There's no specific requirement for the sewing method, just make sure it's secure. After completing, weave the thread on the wrong side. That's it, flower 1 is now sewn. Next, move to both sides. Center the inner front post stitch. Again, this will be at the last 1-2 rows of this color, sew flower 2 here. Here, align the straight edge of the flower outward to match the straight edge of the motif. Similarly, only sew the first row. After finishing, just weave the thread on the wrong side. After completing, follow the same method to attach another flower 2 at the other end. Finally, using the same method, attach flowers to the remaining triangular motifs. When attaching flower 1 to motif 2, position it similarly to the top flower 1 on the triangular motif. That concludes the flower attachment process. Lastly, make and attach the tassels. A complete tassel consists of 2 small tassels in these colors. First, make 2 small tassels in different colors, then combine them together. Finally, attach them to the 4 corners of the blanket. Here, I'll demonstrate the making method for a solid color small tassel. You can use the loop of the yarn, pressing it flat. You can add more loops inside, so it becomes a bit more firm. Next, take the corresponding yarn. First, cut a 20 cm long yarn tail, and place it above. Put it on top. Then wrap the yarn around this cardboard. The number of wraps should refer to the chart. My small sample has an arbitrary number of rounds. If you want the tassel to be more firmly stuffed, you can wrap it a few more times. After wrapping, fasten off the yarn. Align the top thread and tie a knot. Cut the loops below on the cardboard. Tidy up a bit. Then take another piece of yarn. About 10 centimeters away from the end, fold it in half. Make a loop. Place it about 2-3 centimeters below the top of the tassel. Wrap it from bottom to top a few times. Be mindful to leave this loop exposed. As you wrap, pull it tight gradually. Break the yarn. Pass the tail through the loop. Tighten the starting thread. Then use a hook or sewing needle to pull the tail out. Tidy up a bit. Trim the tails at the bottom evenly. This way, a solid color small tassel is made. Next, I will explain how to make a colorful small tassel. The method is the same. Here, take one color of the solid color tassel first. Cut about 20 centimeters. Place it on top. Then pick up the corresponding 4 colors. Combine them together. Now just wrap the yarn above this cardboard. When wrapping the yarn below the top here, you can use any one of the 4 colors to wrap. Everyone can make 2 types of small tassels in the corresponding number using the same method. After completion, proceed with the assembly. Take the colorful tassel and place it inside the solid color tassel. Use a sewing needle to thread the yarn at the top of the tassel through to the top of the solid color tassel. Tie off the yarn ends of both tassels slightly to secure them. This completes one whole tassel. Finally, use a hook or a sewing needle to thread the yarn through to the corner of the blanket, specifically the centered single crochet. Tie a double knot to secure it. Then use a hook or a sewing needle to weave the yarn tail inside the tassel. This completes the installation of the tassel. Everyone can follow the same method to attach the remaining tassels to the corners of the blanket. At this point, the entire process of making the blanket has been fully explained. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.